Hi, listeners. Welcome to this week's edition of Premium Times Podcast. I'm your host, Titilope Fadari. It's Nigeria's political transfer season. Players are already changing clubs, some to butter their bread, some to fill their oversized tummy, some to get someone to bankroll them. Sapa. Nice one. Is that you? Others to save their sinking political career. Of all the players that changed allegiance, none got neck turning and tongue wagging like the man with the short fuse, Femi Fani-Kayode, Nigeria's former aviation minister, whose public actions sometimes do not match his Cambridge degree. The opposition politician had in the past said he would rather die than join the APC, which he labeled the Almajiri People's Congress and described its members as Boko Haramists and genocidal maniacs. But Fani-Kayode has now cleaned his mouth and is now back to his vomit. He did so while shredding the morals and values with which he was raised. He did so with a straight face, like a discourteous elder that stole lollipops from a toddler. Alagba Fani decamped to the APC, and he has said the APC has changed and the party he called names much less than 2 years ago was a transformed party. Nigerians quickly dug into his archive and showed him receipts of the slurs he has used to describe those he now calls friends, but the loquacious ex-minister said he doesn't care. This left many saying former President Olusegun Obasanjo must have been right when he said, if you want FFK to do your bidding, just dangle the carrot. Meanwhile, he hadn't even spent hours in the party. His fellow decampee, David Umahi, Ebonyi State Governor, has traded words with him. I'm sure Umahi does not know who FFK is. If FFK's decamp was shocking, maybe we have a bigger shock ahead. This week, there were insinuations that former President Goodluck Jonathan might be planning to decamp to the All Progressive Congress. Although the ex-president's spokesperson Ikechukwu Eze dismissed the speculation as fake news, the Bayelsa-born President too has been off the political radar since he was ousted in the 2015 elections. He had even announced his decision to step away from active political activities to focus on humanitarian services. But the APC National Secretary said his party would be delighted to have Mr. Jonathan in their folds. He even said Mr. Jonathan will be given a founding member status if he decides to join the party and jostle for the 2023 presidential ticket of the ruling party like others. We are watching. Goodluck Ganduje, Kano State Governor who denied stuffing wads of dollars into his babariga, is in the news again. But this time through his wife and son, and yes, for allegations of fraud and corruption. Hasfat Ganduje, the wife of the governor, shunned an invitation extended to her by the Anti-Graft Agency, EFCC, to report for questioning over a bribery and land fraud case reported by her son, Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz dragged his mom, Hasfat Ganduje, to the EFCC over suggestions that there is a pattern of corruption among the Gandujes using family access to power for private enrichment. Abdulaziz's petition reportedly said he was approached by a property developer to help facilitate the acquisition of some plots of land in Kano State with some hundreds of thousands of US dollars and at least 35 million naira as facilitation commission. He said he paid in dollars to his mother, Mrs. Ganduje, but 3 months later, the property developer discovered that the plot of land he wanted and had paid the first family for had been allocated to other buyers, and he then requested to be refunded, a report said. Another Gandula scandal in the making. In other news, an Oyo State High Court ordered the State Security Service to pay 20 billion naira to Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Sunday Igboho, over the invasion of his home in Ibadan. Justice Ladiran Akintola ruled that the money was awarded as exemplary and aggravated damages against the SSS in the suit filed by Mr. Igboho, in which he was seeking 500 billion naira damages for the invasion. The secret police had stormed Mr. Igboho's house in Soka area of the city in the early hours of July 1. At least 2 people were killed in the invasion. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, meanwhile said the government will appeal the court order. Igboho himself is held in custody in Benin Republic, and some of his aides are still being charged in court. But you know what? One of Igboho's staunch supporters has jumped ship, Fani-Kayode. As always, this edition was written by Yusuf Akinpelu. I'm Titilokwe Fadari. See you next week. Do not forget, if you like this podcast, please share and favorite. Visit www.premiumtimesng.com to catch the latest edition of this podcast series.